All right, welcome everybody. I'll give you some music on here. Welcome to another stream on the Eric Flight channel. Whether you're on YouTube or Twitch, we just appreciate you tuning in. And today we'll be continuing around the USA flights. We're leaving from Great Falls, Montana, where we landed last night, and we're going to be going for a little over 2-hour flight today. It's going to be a longer one to Glendive, Montana. We should have some people maybe flying with us, but we always welcome you to fly with us. I'm on Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer as well as VATSIM. So I use both, but VATSIM will overrule anything. However, right now there are no air traffic controllers in the area for VATSIM, which is online air traffic control. So we're pretty much good to go, and we'll treat everything as non-controlled as of now, while also having the VATSIM Unicom. Also, I've been talking about it lately in the last couple streams, being an affiliate of the Simulated Aviation website. Just wanted to show you exactly what it's all about. First off, big thing, OrbX giveaway. Enter to win one of 4 prizes. You just click right on that at simulatedAviation.com. It's the last day, or the second to last day, before you can enter this. But you can win one of these bundles, either for X-Plane or Prepared. And the ways of entering are here. You can see that I've already kind of entered it myself. So, yeah, definitely go on simulatedAviation.com. There'll be a banner rotating on the bottom as we speak and while we fly today. But I'm looking forward to really getting on there because it's going to take a while on this one. It's going to be 2 hours and 11 minutes. That's what I calculated, at least, in my flight planning here. And we're going to do that via Kilo Lima Whiskey Tango. So that way, if I did want to cut it short, or we did have to cut it short, there's a airport in sight, which is still kind of en route. But I plan on doing the whole 2-hour stretch, so buckle in and get ready to fly. Get the plane started. Okay, the fuel is on already. I made sure it's at 100. No problems there. Seat backs, track backs unlocked. Avionics are off. Autopilot's off. Throttle 1/4 of an inch. There you go. Mixture full lean. Brakes are already set. Master on, beacon on, fuel pump on, full rich mixture, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and full lean, pump off, and now we go clip prop and max to start. Here we go. And we have ignition. Oil pressure is where it always is. It should be in the green, but it's not. Even if I go to 1,000 RPM where I'd like it to be. But, trust me, it's working just fine. Lights as required. Let's put the landing and taxi lights on at this time. And the nav, pretend that's ADS-B. Seatbelts, harnesses, flaps are up. We'll just check that again with the throttle quadrant. I tried to get everything ready before we start streaming today. Looks pretty good. Heat vent, defrost. I think I'm going to leave it off right now. We are using Rex Weather Force. They're having an update tomorrow on this, so I'm looking forward to that. And it says it's currently 73 degrees out, actually, around the weather station where I am. So, you know what? We will put cabin air on. Bam. All right. What else we got? Avionics on. And the transponder. Beautiful. It already has my flight plan put in there. But as I was talking about last night's stream, I flew the 172N in real life yesterday. I had the 530 in it. And it was interesting putting stuff in to get familiar with again. I didn't fly the 172 in quite a while, so it took me a little while to find out what button. I kept pushing the cursor instead of the enter button. That was the biggest thing, but other than that, we were pretty good. Let's get the ATIS here, and the ATIS is 126.6. There we go.
Great Falls Airport information, Echo 18000 Zulu. 1227 at 19er. Visibility, 9er. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 17. Dew point, 13. Altimeter, 29.94. Visual runway, 2 in use. Landing and departing runway, 2 VSR, aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller, on initial contact, you have Edo.
I gotta list that one more time for the winds.
Great Falls Airport information, Foxtrot 1800 Zulu. 1227 at 19er. Visibility, 9er. in use. Landing and departing runway.
So we're good there. We're going to VATSIM Unicom, just 122.8. That's for the whole United States. They do not follow local CTAF channels or Unicom channels. So that's just the way VATSIM works. And back to the checklist to finish this up. ADS-B on, and that's with the nav. Altimeter set. Transponders on, squawking. Radio test. We'll try it, but I don't know if anyone's going to hear me out there, so we'll try. VATSIM Unicom, Cesar Nanderka Foxtrot. Radio check, please. Alright, so we'll keep an eye on that as we fly. If anyone at VATSIM can hear me, that's great. Did say transmit for the record, though. Alright, I'm going to test the brakes on the way out. We're going to go to runway 21 and hopefully get to the right runway, because for some reason, last night we had some problems. I went to the VFR map like right before Great Falls, Montana, and it crashed. The whole simulator crashed. So then I started up. I was like, I might as well just do evening real time then. This is real time, by the way, and real weather. So it should be a good flight. But yeah, I landed at the wrong runway. And I was like, geez, why are there closed X's on this runway? It's because I landed on the wrong runway. But it was a nice landing still. We will not be making that same mistake twice. So that was just a brain fart last night. All right. We are currently north of the terminal and general aviation parking here at Great Falls. We're just going to go right up Alpha. And we'll do a run up somewhere around Alpha 1. And again, if you want to join me on this flight or whatever, I thought I saw someone from Simulated Aviation there. And indeed, yes, it's Marty. He says he's just jumping on, so he can join me at runway 21. And if he's already there, he can just stay there and we'll make our way. But it's going to be a long one, 2 hours and 11 minutes of flight time. So get my stopwatch just ready to go, but not there yet. Okay, going forward. Brakes are good. Okay, look to our right. We're good there. Left, get out of the way, ground services. And again, we'll just take a right onto Alpha here for runway 21. That's the main terminal here, by the way, in Great Falls. Very much reminds me of Worcester, Massachusetts in real life. So it's cool because if you land there, they have like one taxiway that's open, the rest are closed. And basically, you go right by the terminal and you see all like the JetBlue and stuff, the Embraers there and stuff. What's going on with that? What the heck just happened? Are you kidding me? It must be a control issue. Fuel's on. All right, let's try it again. Clear prop. That was weird. All right, well, hopefully that doesn't happen in flight, or else we're going to have to practice emergency procedures. That was weird. Keep an eye on that. That's why we do a run-up. The simulator's been weird past couple days, so shall see. I installed some freeware scenery, maybe that's what it was, but nothing around here in Montana or anything, so I have no clue. I just want to get out of Great Falls. It hasn't been, it's almost like I've been, oh God, jinxed or something here. Is this the ILS hold short line? Yes, it is. But you're in VFR, so we don't have to worry about that. But I am going to pull over here to do a run-up. So let's do that. And we're right near the... What the heck just happened again? Oh my God. This is crazy. Pull out the throttle and it did that. Which is crazy. Come on, stay there. Let's run it a little bit. And I'm definitely not out of fuel. So we'll keep an eye on it. Alright, let me idle again and see what happens. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. And again, I have to do the run-up for this. The mixture is too rich, so it was dying out. That makes sense now. Again, I fly out of Plymouth, Massachusetts, but we don't have to worry about that as much. That makes sense to me now. Alright. Usually I like to turn into the wind when we do the run-up. My mixture is a little bit lean. And that's real-world traffic, that YEL-14. It's actually a 172 SP. I checked that up while I was waiting for the stream here. But checklist for the run-up. Brakes are set. Fuel set to both. Trim set for takeoff. It is. Flight controls in, right, out, left, in, and centered. And again, we look out the window at the ailerons and the elevator, make sure they're operating right. Flight controls, annunciator lights, testing. They're all lit, so that's good. All right, instruments, turn equators in the middle, no flag. Heading's about 2. That's a little off. There we go. 230-ish. Vertical speed looks good. Horizon looks good. Horizon looks good. Altimeter looks good, and the airspeed looks good. All right, we are going to 1800. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to 1800 and then just let the lean the mixture out till we get the highest RPM that we can get. So here we go. When that needle drops, I know I have the mixture where I want it. So there you go. I just did it right there. Now we'll adjust to 1800. And we'll check the right magneto. Very good. Back to both. Oh, we got 1800 again. There you go. Left. Back to both. All right. Very good. Vacuum looks good. Amps. It always looks like that. It should be at 0 or charging slightly. So I don't know. That's a bug. And oil pressure, oil temperature's in the green. Finally, looks good. Idling should be about 575, 625, and that's because we lean out the mixture appropriately for this. So that looks good. All right, and back to 1,000, and we'll land for the runway. So. Alright, if there's a problem on the takeoff roll, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will abort takeoff and land directly ahead on the runway. If we are, let's look at the altitude here. Alright, about 3,700. Alright, so let's say if we're at 4,000, if we're under 4,400 feet, and this is a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we'll land directly, have no more than 30-degree turns. Best glide speed in this plane is 68. If we are above 4,400 and there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will take a turn to the right and land downwind on the grass taxiway, the runway. Whatever's available to us, best glide speed again is 68. With that, the strobes go on. Everything else looks good, and we'll call it on VAT Sim here on the Unicom. So anything you hear from radio calls is VAT Sim. That's why I use it. And Great Falls traffic, says United Foxtrot, departing runway 21, departure to the east. Great Falls. I don't see any traffic. There is real world traffic behind me, but they are waiting for me. Just nice to see that that actually does that with real world traffic in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Really hate these taxi lights still in the middle of where they don't belong. But we'll get through this. We ready for this? 2 hours and 11 minutes. Of flying, and we're in the middle. Okay, stopwatch is started, full throttle, rotate at 55, climb at 74. Here we go. And again, I'll deviate my ailerons a little bit to the right for wind correction. It's not much, but that's what you have to get used to when you're a pilot. A lot of sim pilots don't know that, but you're supposed to make the ailerons go into the wind if they're in front of you, and supposed to deflect away if they're behind you. Not that it makes a huge difference in the simulator, but in the real world, if you have a really strong wind, it can do some weird things to your plane. So, all right, we're getting there. Looking pretty good. See by leaving the mixture at the run up, which I didn't do yesterday because I was an idiot. It definitely helps you with the RPMs and the power to get the takeoff here, because the airfield was at like 3,000 something feet, so you have to do that at high density altitude airports. And what we'll do is we'll climb to pattern altitude, which is about 4,700, and then we'll turn on course and we'll be on our way. So should be good. The final checkpoints on our flight today are very spaced out because there wasn't much to look at. I'm talking like 30 nautical miles. Ideally, you want them to be like 10. But I am using GPS with us on this flight, so we should be okay. And again, I guess I'm going to have to practice more high-density altitude airports out west here on my own time just to get used to leaving the mixture out and remembering that you have to do that. So I'm so used to flying out of Plymouth where it's 150 MSL and we don't really touch the mixture much until we go over 3,000 feet. So, I don't know. Turn that marker off right there. We don't need that. But we are at pattern altitude, so I'm going to take a turn to the left. Clear on the left. Here we go. Typically, you do a 45-degree turn out of here, which would be 165. But we'll do that, and then we'll take a look on our left and see how it looks. And if so, we'll keep turning to the left on course. But I don't think we're going to have much traffic over here. Yeah, we're going to keep turning. I don't see any traffic there, so we'll take a left-hand turn. There's actually someone behind me. That's roll traffic. And we'll just swing it wide. So. And just for safety measures, we would do something like this. Great Falls traffic says they're 9 Echo Foxtrot departing on the left downwind departure to the east, Great Falls. And that way they know to look for me, including that aircraft that's taking off. So nothing but safety. That's what it's all about. Alright, we're going to even out here. I did calculate that I would have to take a heading ultimately of 9 or 8. I think, yeah, 9 or 8. And we'll have a ground speed of somewhere around 128. So we shall see. I'm going to trim up to climb at around 80 knots. And our cruise altitude today is 9,500. So if you are watching, by the way, I just want to tell you and, you know, make you realize that you can chat. There's nothing wrong with chatting. Feel free. If you don't want to, that's fine too. You can just kick back, relax, and then, but welcome to do whatever you want while watching me stream. I appreciate you being here. And we'll be on our way. We are just staying in Montana today, but Montana is very, very expansive compared to other places. So, and right now we're going direct to Lewistown Airport, Kilo Lima Whiskey Tango, and then we'll make a turn for Dawson Community Airport, which is Kilo Golf Delta Victor, which is our ultimate destination today. And goodbye, Great Falls, even though your taxiways were a little confusing. But here's the actual town right here, Great Falls, or probably city of Great Falls, Montana. So it's pretty nice around here to see all this stuff, but at the same time, it can get, I don't want to say boring, but it can get a little bit redundant with the amount of farmland and stuff outside the cities. So, but we are around the USA flights here, so perimeter of the United States is what we're after, and we are going to do this. We're heading east back to Plymouth, Massachusetts, ultimately, and that will make us have flown around the perimeter of the United States. So we have to come up with another challenge after, but I'm hoping to get these done by November. So we shall see. And I'll give you an update on Simualtor. It's pretty good software for where we are and what we're doing. I do have some VATSIM traffic behind me. Here we are, right there. And we just came out of Great Falls. Of course, I can't see my flag right now, but it's cool. And we're gonna go all the way to Kilo Golf Delta Victor. They're almost at the border of Montana. So that is gonna be it for today, I believe, though, because this is one long flight. Climbing to 9,500 feet. Okay, we'll also lean the mixture out just slightly. See if we can get any more power out of this. We just did. Here we go. Not bad. Keep climbing. 6,500 and climbing. Now the reason why I'm going at 9,500 is up ahead there are some small mountains and we won't have enough clearance for that. So that's why we planned the way we did, and we're right on track, about 9.6 for a heading, 9.9er. So right about where I should be according to my planning. If anyone has any interesting stories, feel free to share them with us on the stream. Because I don't know if I could talk for 2 hours non-stop. Nor I think that you really want to hear that, so. Oh boy. But we are getting some winds up here today. That's VATSIM right there. So he's actually someone on VATSIM who's going to land at Great Falls. Again, you can use chat on VATSIM, or you can do what I do, which is use my push-to-talk button on my honeycomb yoke and use your headset or microphone. It doesn't have to be a headset, it can just be a microphone to talk. So. But our first checkpoint will be on the sectional. It says Belt, which is a small town outside, but seeing that it has a VFR checkpoint flag on it, I figured we'd be able to see that in the simulator. So we should be there in approximately 18 minutes total. So I've got almost 9 minutes in there, so we're halfway there, and we're still climbing to 9,500. And we will adjust times as needed. Take a look outside. It's not bad scenery. Got some mountainous terrain up there. A lot of flat land, and there is Marty from Simulated Aviation, who is flying with us today. So welcome, Marty. Great to have you flying along with me, and enjoy the sights. So, the scenery is pretty nice. Real time, real weather. Supposed to be some really good flying weather out here. And all is good. Getting to 8,000 feet, I believe. Yep. Those downdrafts, which I don't know where they're coming from, are making the climb a little difficult, but we'll get there. That November 265, God, Charlie Zulu, VATSIM is a Cessna 208, if that's possible. So I kind of recognize that call sign, so now I'm wondering if he's from the Virtually Safe Flying Club. We'll have to see. 265. I guess not. I guess he's just a VATSIM user. Okay. That's cool. 8,300 feet. We're going to lean off the mixture just a little bit more if we can get any more power out of this. Right about there. Didn't take much. But maximum power on climbing. Alright. And I will be intermittently drinking iced tea, so I appreciate you understanding. Hopefully no bad. But yeah, lots of farmland and some ruggedness in Montana out there in the distance. So those are, if I can find a mountain range name here, on the sectional that is. No, not really. But you got Arrow Peak on the left. Highway Baldy is a mountain on the left as well. And then to the south of us is Big Baldy Mountain. Over there, so. It's just little mountains, and then it's going to drop down again a little bit for terrain. Not much, just a little bit. But we're going to go right through these mountains. And the town of Belt should be up in front of us. We should be overflying it. So we'll take a look out here for it. See if we can see it. Oh, there it is right there. So that is Belt, Montana, everybody. That is our first checkpoint. I couldn't really see it. Then you had to look at this little ravine right there. It's right there. Cool. Now the next checkpoint after Belt is going to be a wind farm out there. So I'm interested in seeing if they put the windmills in or not. But I have it on the GPS on the Sentinel, so I'll know where to look. Just a matter of just there. Belt seems to be a very small town. That must be the local school. Whoop, got a little wind there. You saw that. Small little community right there with a river going through it. Which reminds me of the movie, A River Runs Through It. And we're getting to 9,500 feet. So we're going to start trimming down just slightly. As long as we're still climbing, which we're not. So let me trim back up. And now down. The trim in the simulator leaves something to be desired, I feel. Prepared was definitely, I mean, prepared was very sensitive too, but after a while it would land pretty good. And I know the winds are better in this for winds and loft and stuff, but it's difficult to control compared to real world. So, again, on our left will be Arrow Peak and Highwood Baldy Mountain right here. And those are, if you ask me, they look a little unique because they have like flat tops to them, which is intriguing. And then on the right over here, we have big, huge mountain range, and it's called Big Baldy Mountain. The only reason why I think that they maybe called it bald is because it's flatter on the tops of these mountains. It's weird. Or unique, I should call it. But right there, well, and I got about 14 minutes in Belt, I mean, not Belt. 14 or 15 minutes. I said 18, so we'll say 15. And also, we'll trim down because now we're at 9,750, but it's cool. We'll adjust all the times as needed. How are you doing on that? Oh, see, it's going back up. You see what I'm saying? Like, I trimmed down a lot, and it went instantly back up to 500 feet per minute climb. So I don't get that. I don't want to go too... Stop it. Go home, trim. You're drunk. Come on. Alright, so that shaved about 3 minutes off our time, according to this. We also want to be at 2,500 RPMs or so to keep it around maneuvering speed. And yeah, some really good scenery. Again, I just have to make sure this gets trimmed out sometime today. So bear with me while I do that. Next checkpoint will be the windmill farm, and that should be 6 minutes ahead of us. So be on the lookout for some windmills. And hopefully we will see them in the simulator. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. That's what I've seen out of prior experience. Goodbye, Belt, Montana. Marty, I thought I lost you. Are you flying the 172 also, Marty, or are you flying something else? There we go, it's getting a little bit better on the trim issue here. 172, yeah. So, low and slow. Actually, low is not really vocabulary for today, but low and slow. It's the way I like it. But I will be doing some flights with the Cirrus in the future too. I occasionally pop them in here and there. I've been testing the checklist I made. That's cool. Yeah, no problem. Have some fun. Marty is part. You're the one that does the formation flag all the time with military jets. So feel free, fly formation with me. And Great Falls traffic, 5 nautical mile final. Yep. So that's the November 265 Charlie Zulu traffic on VATSIM right now. And so, like I said, you could do voice or you could do text like that. But I prefer voice. Very realistic, like the real world, and I even use my real headset. So, love this thing. Cost quite a pretty penny, but I was told it'd be the last one I had to buy. And boy, were they correct. They were definitely correct on everything. So, I did get a good deal on eBay, though. I shopped around. I didn't just go buy it brand new. So, even has noise cancellation. So, can't go wrong with the Bose Ace20. Expensive? Yes. Really good? Oh, yeah. Really, really good. I do like the Faro G2. There's Marty doing some formation flying. Let's get closer to this. Right there. Beautiful job, Marty. Are those legs dangling from there? Oh, you're a little too close now. You disappeared. Excellent job. And of course, I should stay on track. That would help a lot by keeping a steady thing. But that's cool. You don't see that every day. If he starts telling me to pull to land and stuff, I have some issues with that. All right, let's look for this windmill farm. It should be coming up. In fact, we should be almost upon it. So let's take a look outside again. Look for windmills in the distance. I don't see any. It should be pretty big. So on the sectional, it says it's a big windmill farm. Oh, there they are actually. That's the, yeah, that is it right there. So they do have it in the simulator for this one at least. Nice to see. And when we're parallel of that, we will get another checkpoint time here. But we should be there about 21 minutes, and I have 19 and a half right now, so that seems to be correct. Right there. They are not currently... Oh, they are turning. Alright, cool. I'll take it. Good job, Microsoft. Thank you for putting in a visual there. They said, I think in the next update, or a couple updates, they're going to try to add more of the VFR visuals, so it'd be nice to see that. Including power lines. Like, I know they have towers, but they don't really have the power lines so that you can see them clear enough, so. Okay, lean off the mixture a little bit too, just make sure I'm at maximum power here. Look at my EGT. Alright. So I guess that's about where we're gonna be. Alright, cool. So yeah, I'll call it 21 minutes for this checkpoint. Doesn't feel like I've been flying for 21 minutes, but it is. Alright, next checkpoint is Sierra 6-4, which is an airport off to our right at Stanford Biggerstaff Airport. And that will be in about 9 minutes or so. So, kick back and enjoy. Let's check out Marty doing some formation flying again. He is still. He's definitely holding it steady. Nice. Pretty good there. Right over the windmills. But I gotta ask, are those legs dangling? Is this like the skydiving model? Because I see some legs there. I don't think that's a skydiving model. It's interesting. Very interesting. Trim up. Come on. Get to that 9,500 instead of 9,300. Alright. And we are a little off course, but not much. Again, we're hand flying this, so occasionally I will veer off just a little bit, but there's that windmill farm. Very nice visuals. Looks like they might even, yep, there's more going up the mountain there. So that's pretty cool. November 265 Charlie Zulu just landed at Great Falls where we left. Great Falls, Montana. So, oh, sorry. Just trying to zoom in on Simualtor to keep tabs on where we are. But I will update you in a second as well. So, Simualtor is awesome for VAT Sim because it'll keep track of us. We left Great Falls. We're on our way to Lewiston, and then going to Glendive, Montana, which is right out here. So a little bit south, and then a little bit up north. That is where we are. If you see the gold bar at top, kind of tells you progress-wise, where we are on the flight. So we're only about, I'd say, 15-20% in. It's gonna be a longer flight today. Very clear weather and everything like that. We have the town of Geyser coming up. Just take a look at that too. Right there. The thing about the towns and cities out here is that they're so spread out that you can spawn them a lot easier than other places. Marty's still doing some formation flying there. Don't drop the body off the plane though. That's really cool. You see that? I was like, what the heck is that? And it's legs coming out of your plane. So I somewhat messed up on that model matching, but that's Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I didn't install any of those extra liveries yet, so gotta turn a little bit left to get more on course. Geyser is supposed to be a little bit to our right. So we're on track. It's just I'm veering off as I look out the aircraft a little bit. It's not gonna mean much to our time here. It says we're 24.5 minutes out from Lewistown. I said Louisville, see, because I was thinking about my brother in Texas. Lewistown Airport, which will be our first real waypoint, and then we go direct to name of the airport. I know it's Kilo Golf Delta Victor, but it is Dawson Community Airport. So we're getting there. And our checkpoint, which is Stanford Biggerstaff Airport, is still about 7 nautical miles out on our right. So take a look at that when we can. Got a lot of lakes and stuff up here on our left. It says that in the sectional. Really see much. Go Marty again. Traveling Route 87, it's right over here. So everything's looking pretty good. But you see what I mean about the checkpoints. They can get rather distant out here in Montana due to a lot of open land. That's it for mountains until we get near Lewistown. They're going to have the big snowy mountains south of Lewistown Airport as we fly over it. We're not going to land there. We're just going to fly right over. Save some time on this rather expensive flight, at least for me. So Surprise! No, really, there's a creek called Surprise Creek up here, which I believe is this long one coming down, how we see here. So, but anyways, enough of the corny jokes, and I'm way too high. So we'll trim down. You see, this trim is driving me insane, and I understand it's going to vary a little bit, but oh my lord. Come on, man, do better. Maybe that weather force patch will address this, so I don't know, but I do still think it's better than the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather, which they are also supposed to be patching too over time, so I don't quite know what will end up being better. From past experience, I wish Active Sky came out with a weather engine for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I trust them the most, and that's from someone who's basically a cheapskate and tries to only buy what he really needs to buy, so I'd buy that in a heartbeat. And it was cool on Prepared version 5 when I had Active Sky, because I also had this program called EZCA version 3, and I bought it more for the digital head monitoring, which was basically, they did studies on where the pilot's head was according to the forces of the wind and also the way that the plane was turned and stuff, and it made it more realistic on that. So, but they don't have, I mean, this bounces around a little bit, but it's not the same as EZCA. And again, that was a prepared only product, so I do miss those two things, Active Sky and EZCA, but we'll see. I did contact Microsoft about that too and said need more digital head movement. But anyways, EZCA would hook up to Active Sky and it would take the turbulence into effect and everything on your flying, so it'd be like really bumpy if you were flying through some very turbulent weather. So, but I haven't really touched Prepared since getting this, especially after that second patch when they fixed the excuse me, when they fixed the frames per second with VATSIM and vPilot. Sim Connect all around, so. Alright, Stanford and Biggerstaff Airport should be off to our right up ahead. Probably out here. Oh, there it is. Wait, nope, I thought I saw it. Alright, I'll look when it's a little further ahead. Let me just make sure I got my altitude correct here. Get an update on Marty as well. Who I don't see. Oh, he's off my left there. Alright. So, enjoy the sights. I am looking for Stanford Biggerstaff Airport. So here's a civilization. You think there would be an airport? Wait, what's that? Supposed to be right around here. That's what you do. Yeah, the T6 Texan. There it is. This has to be the airfield right here. Right near the town of Stanford. So we're about to call that when we're parallel. I never really got into military aircraft, but from what I understand, the T6 is the training aircraft of the Air Force, or it was at one point. If I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I might be wrong. So, trimming up. It is, yeah, that's what I thought. And then, what's the jet trainer they have? Yeah, exactly. Because I knew that was a piston. Marty off our left wing there. And again, Stanford is off our right. So I'm going to turn a little bit more in to get a little bit more direct on track. But I have about 31 and a half minutes. I said 30, so we'll just increase that by, we'll increase by 2, just to make sure we got a good tracking system here. How's my altitude doing? Yeah. Trim up just slightly. There we go. Again, we just the times as we go. It'll give us an approximate time that we should be at a checkpoint. And that way you know you're on course. If you don't see those, then you know something's up and you have to find out where you are. Which with GPS is easy, but when I did my real world private pilot training, I didn't have any electronic flight bag or anything. You dial into VORs and try to cross to them to find out where you are. And that is on the private pilot check ride as well, so. I might someday try to fly that T6 Texan. I don't know. I mean, I'm very much a stickler on having real world checklists and stuff, so I'd have to research it a little bit. So, I think it's in reaction to what I used to do when I didn't know as much about flying before the private pilot and everything. I used to just kind of, oh, okay, yeah, Control E, cool, starts it up. I didn't do that all the time, but I didn't finagle with as much as I do now. And Marty's coming in off our left. The Mentor. Now let's check out that bad boy. Oh yeah. Alright, so here is the T6 Texan 2 single engine turbo prop. So the T6 Texan World War II. Yeah. So that's a cool little spunky plane, huh? It's a tail wheel, you know. I've never flown a tail wheel in my life, but it's gotta be interesting. Yeah. Alright, so next checkpoint will be Benchland. Let's see if I think that's another visual checkpoint. Oh no, it's a little town off our right, and it's in just a little bit, so, yeah. Yeah. Tail wheels, do you think they're harder to fly than kind of like the 172 with just the bicycle gear? Yeah, so I mean, I know that there's a tail wheel endorsement you have to get with those, but definitely, especially when you're taxiing, 'cause you have to swerve to see that you're on the taxiway and clear of any traffic, so. Yeah. No, makes you more on point, right? Alright, this next checkpoint, I don't know if we're gonna see, but it's following some railroad tracks, so that's the thing I was looking for. So let's look out here on our right. See if we can see any railroad tracks way out in the distance. Actually, this might be it right here, Benchland, Montana. But I'll use the GPS to help me. Got about 35.5 minutes total time. I got 37, so yeah, should be about right. And the trim is finally where it should be. Now let's see if it gets really messed up. Outside air temperature, let's check it. It's 23 degrees Fahrenheit, so I think we can turn the cabin air off. I probably would have turned that off around 40. But it's funny, because when I go flying now in the Northeast here, you know, it starts off in the morning like 50, 60 degrees. And then throughout the day, it climbs to about probably 70s, high 60s right about now. But when you're in the air, it drops down to about 50, 40, so you wear the jacket with you, just to, you know, and you look crazy when you come out in 70-degree weather. It's just part of staying warm in the cockpit, I guess. We have someone else here on Microsoft Flight Simulator traffic to our 12 o'clock. White Wolf, number 34900. Beechcraft 350, is that what it is? It's actually behind the mountain. That's the thing about traffic in Microsoft Flight Simulator. You don't really know how far away they are because they have those big call sides. You know, I think I saw one of those T6 Texans, the World War II model. I saw one of those at Battleship Cove in New Bedford, Massachusetts. They have one, I think, right off the battleships they have on display. So, 37 minutes for Benchland. And now we're on our way to our first waypoint of Lewistown, Montana, which should be in front of us. So, we shall see. Might even see it, maybe. We're a good 20 nautical miles out still, so we might have to wait for it, but it is out there. And we'll take a look for it. Fresh Chipmunk 76, that's one heck of a nickname right there. I don't know, they give you a default nickname when you first get on the Microsoft Flight Simulator servers though, so. And I forget what mine was, it was like something Tundra 76, Unworthy Tundra, something like that. It was really weird. And I, of course, switched to Direct Flight US just to be easier to spot, so. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I'm looking into for a future flight. I'm flying with some friends. I asked one of my friends to fly with me next Saturday, and then I have some. Then I think I have a 152 flight, which is, you know, basically me, and then I have another 172 flight after that booked, and that'll be some friends from high school and this common day friends. Excuse me. Ugh. But after that, I want to look into maybe going to Bradley in Connecticut because they have the New England Air Museum out there, and we'll see. But they have like hangars full of planes right now with COVID going on, and they get the doors open and stuff. So still a little iffy on places with COVID, but I'm gonna look into that and see what I can do. So it's hard as a private pilot to find things to do once you land somewhere. So, and I was building a cross-country time. In fact, I talked to my instructor today, this morning. I want to do the FAA wings program, and I already have like the knowledge part of it done, but there's also a little check ride sort of things that they do. But with getting FAA wings certification, you don't have to do the biannual. You get another 2 years or so, or something like that. So I have to look into it and send them all the information. But I figured I could use my check ride from last October. So yeah, I did go to New Bedford a couple weeks ago, and they have the airport grill there. I'm not just vouching from that. It's a good place to eat, and they have an outdoor patio. I won't eat anywhere inside. It has to be outdoors for me. And I mean, I'm paranoid with it because again, I am teaching remotely, so I want to make sure that there's a reason for doing that. And so that was the second restaurant I went out to in 6 months. Last night we actually did takeout at a local restaurant, and that went well. So the family. But usually we just stick around the house. That's why streaming so much. And the only time I really get out, honestly, is to fly. So it's a welcome release. But again, I wear a mask whenever I'm in the plane, even if I'm by myself. That's a COVID procedure from the flight school. And not everyone seems to follow it if they're flying by themselves, but we have to like wipe down the plane. They give us cleaner and everything. So I try to follow that to a T because I don't want this COVID thing. So Lewistown would be a Class E airport, so it'd be non-towered, thank you. And let's get a little weather update here. 118375, we'll get a new pressure altitude setting here.
Kilo Lima Whiskey Tango automated weather observation 1800 Zulu. Wind, one tree at 15. Visibility, niner. Sky conditions, clear. Temperature, 6 C dew point. 1 tree, see altimeter 29997.
There we go. Alright, so that's what you do when you don't have approach or anything to tell you anything. And just check into local airports and get an altimeter reading here and there. Let's look outside, and Lewistown should be coming up ahead of us. So be on the lookout. It's out there. Can't really see it. We're 10 nautical miles out, so we'll see it eventually, but it's a little hazy to see it. It's not foggy. Just really can't make it out yet. So we'll take a look in a couple minutes. But we are definitely going direct. We will fly Lewistown. We will then be on our second leg, and we will turn to a heading of 7.6, that's what I calculated there, and be about an hour and 24 minutes away from our destination. So sorry about the yawns. I don't know what it is. I think I talk too much, and then my body says I need air. And it starts making me yawn. Yeah, we have the big snowy mountains out there on our right. Get an update on Marty, he's right behind me. And it's been a pretty good clear day so far. Can't beat the weather. But it is what it is, and that's what we do, so. Okay, we're 7 nautical miles out. Let's see. It is a nice country. It is very scenic. I like the contrast between the mountains and the flatland. And it definitely looks better than prepared version 5 ever did when I did this flight last year. So they did. And there it is, Lewistown right there. Kind of blends in, so that's why it's a little hard to see. But they need to get seasons on this. That's the thing. And I know that for California and stuff like that in Florida, it'll be like Prepared and FSX was, where they don't need to change the seasonal textures as much. But in the Northeast where I live in real life, it'd be nice to see the foliage changing colors already, because it is here, to oranges and reds and browns. So again, when we fly over Lewistown, we'll turn to 7.6 for a heading, and hopefully be right on course to our ultimate destination of Glendive, Montana. So plans after this flight, I'm gonna see what the family's up to, and then I'm gonna try to get that repaint mostly done for our first repaint of a Cessna 172. It'll be this plane, just an errant flight livery, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Not sure if I'm gonna finish it today, but we'll see what happens. I'm kind of intrigued. Oh, excuse me, if that's gonna happen or not. So. My first test failed miserably when it messed up like the textures, and I saved backup copies and everything, but we shall see. And I also have to plan for the next flight after this. Try to do whatever I can in advance, so that way it's a little easier. And then we're working all week long and get to the next weekend, but when's Columbus Day weekend? Is that next weekend? Might be. Because I do get that Monday off. School for teaching. Yep. So that will be extended weekend next weekend. 10, 11, and 12th of October. So we'll see if we can do a little bit more flying then as well. But I try to do some midweek flying. Again, I have kids and a family, so it takes a little hard to say I'm gonna go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, these hours. I can't really do that all the time, but I do try to give advance notice to these flights, so feel free to join along. Yeah, that's typically a bigger one too, but everything kind of blurs now because again I'm working remotely from home and school's not the same. It hasn't been the same since last March, so even the kids feel it. But all right, I believe we're right off of Lewistown. Indeed we are. So we'll start turning for a heading of 76, and time is about 47, 48 minutes. I said 46, so we'll change that to 47. Right about there. Check back in a little bit and see if that will keep us on track. Just gonna update these times. Back at 2 hours and 11 minutes, which is my originally calculated flight time, so everything's looking pretty good. And check the GPS to see, make sure we're on track here, which we are. We are totally on a direct track, so my heading is correct. And going to Forest Grove for our first checkpoint, which is a small town. It'll be off to our right. But Lewistown Airport right there. Lewistown itself, being here in the area. The civilizations, the cities and stuff, seem to be closer out here than they were before. But again, we are at Glacier National Park, so that red building's really standing out over there. So what's that? Looks like fast food or something. I gotta be honest with you. Snowy mountains again to our south. Yeah, lots of open land with some mountains around it. That's basically what we're seeing here in Montana. So. The trees are fantastic in the simulator too. I think they did a nice job. Again, it's just season changes, which I'm sure that I would hope they would update that in the future. I know that they just wanted to come out with the satellite imagery, and that would take a lot, but it'd be nice to see that. I still have to I have to find someone, and I'm not in a rush to do this, that owns a Cardinal around here. And I know there's that's the Cessna 177. Yeah, 177. Really wanted to try that out because it's supposed to be like a 172, maybe a little bit more powerful and with a wider, it has a more open feel in the cockpit. Because I feel that we really haven't had a lot of issues taking passengers in the 172, but it does look very cramped to someone that doesn't fly planes normally. Until you move these front seats forward. And me being a short person, I give them lots of leg back there. But once you do that, it's very comfortable. It's just that when you first look at it and you open up the door, there's not much room to get in the back till the seats are forward. So. But that 172N the other day was a joy to fly. I really liked flying that a lot. So. All right, Forest Grove. We're about halfway to Forest Grove. In our total flight, we've only done about 40% of it. Maybe even a little less than that, 35, 40%. So you can see that's a longer flight. But with these barren grounds with mountains and a couple of cities and towns thrown in, you kind of have to plan for a longer flight on these, which is welcome. It's nice to fly a bigger flight here and there. But I don't know where I'm going to fly on Saturday. I have the 172M model, which I haven't flown in a while. But there were a couple issues they were saying with it as I was listening to the radio the other day. They said that the comms between the passengers and the pilot wasn't really working that well, so we'll see if that's working or not. And yeah, it's quite interesting. I was talking to my instructor, like I said this morning. Called me as I left a message about the Wings program, the FAA Wings program. And it's like, yeah, it's really weird because I need a cushion in the 172P, yet in the 172N the seat goes up more, so I'm fine. Like, I didn't need anything, so never knew there was a difference. So but we are pretty trimmed out here. This is what I like to see. Nice, calm, easy flying. Hands off the yoke. You still have it on here, you know, just to guide it, but it's not much that needs to be done in a well-trimmed aircraft, so. Alright, let's get an update on Marty. He's still right behind us, probably enjoying the mountains back there. Fresh Chipmunk 76 still out there. Area Image 44 in front of us. It is. It was supposed to be a very nice day for flying out here. On Sky Vector, everything seems to just be clear. I'll pull this up for us. But if you see it clear, here's a weather station. Clear. Clear on Lewiston. And now we're about right here-ish. Here's another weather station. Clear. There's some gusts. Gust 22 knots, but clear. We're also supposed to be getting a good ground speed here, so let me get an update on the ground speed. I calculate like 130 knots. I got 121 right now on the GPS, which isn't too shabby. But yeah, fantastic flying weather. And again, with the colder temperatures and stuff, it seems to bring the better weather in. Typically, the more cloudy, stormy weather is in higher temperatures like Florida or summer here in New England, but you can never tell. So yeah, most of the really serious flight schools for people who want to become ATPs are in Florida, but there is nice weather year round there, but there's lots of storms. So in New England we have problems with winds and stuff picking up just from the difference in temperature fluctuations, stuff like that. It makes it a little difficult to fly in some weather. But if you check out that Block Island video, I think that was like my second or third flight as a private pilot, and you saw that I had icing in the carburetor, so that was quite interesting. Stuff like that, you know. And like I did the briefing, and again it said icing north of Block Island, so I was ready for it and knowing, hey, you know, just be careful about that. But I was surprised at how fast Carb Heat, because that was a carbureted engine in the 152, how fast Carb Heat kicked out that ice. So that was interesting, because I never got to see it in real life. That was my first time ever really dealing with it in real life. You're trained for it, but until you actually have to use it and see it, I thought it would take like a good 30 seconds or something. It cleared right out. It was amazing. So, which is good to see, because I was on my descent from Block Island over the ocean. And at that time, I didn't have a personal flotation device on me. Now, if I'm going to do a flight like that over water, that much water, I wear this vest that you can inflate by pulling on it. So, but you buy things as you go, you know. All right, Forest Grove should be out there on the right. Let's see if we can see it out there. Yeah, it's right about there behind us. You see this road? That's how I can tell it's out there. Not a good visual, but good enough. And that was about 55, 56. I said 54, so we'll say 55. Add an extra minute here, but that's okay. I'm going to trim down slightly. We'll adjust our times as needed. This is kind of a pain when you're flying, but something you do, especially on longer flights, to make sure that you're on track. So here we go. Next checkpoint is War Horse Lake. That's a cool name for a lake. That'll be off our left up ahead. So looking for War Horse Lake somewhere out here. And that's part of the War Horse National Wildlife Refuge. So they want you on the FAA to fly about 2,000 feet above MSL for any wildlife. It's not required. I think it used to be required, but now it's not. Now it's just suggested that you fly 2,000 feet. But they're down there at like 3,300 feet or so. So we're fine where we are. Again, just lots of open land and mountains. That's what you see here in Montana. But the satellite imagery makes a difference with the colors that you see. Because again, when you have prepared and stuff, I had Orbex, but it'd be mostly green. So it's nice to see that contrast in color. War Horse Lake. Then above that is Wild Horse Lake. So, but it looks to be like a dry bed type lake. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. You don't see a lot of golf courses out here. Did you notice that? Like, I haven't seen one yet. I think they would still play golf in Montana. But that looks like it's War Horse Lake over there. Along with Wild Horse Lake above it. So yeah, that's definitely it right there. That'll be our next checkpoint. I thought about something else I have to do tonight. I have to get one of those videos out for the Airflight channel. I have like 3 flight videos now I gotta edit. And that includes yesterday's flight to Danielson, Connecticut and back. So I gotta get on that. It's just that I returned to work, I don't get as much time as I did in the summer, obviously. Even if I did take a course over the summer, college course that is, I still had more time to kind of plan things. So the one positive about COVID is, yeah, I had more time to do things because I'm at home a lot more. But the bad news is that you don't go anywhere. You don't do anything except for flying for me. And I've been doing a lot of biking as well on my e-bike. So I gotta get back on that this week. But I usually don't go more than maximum 3 days without taking a ride. Usually I'm back to back, or I skip a day to recover and then I go back to it. And I really don't use the motor a lot, I gotta be honest with you. I only use the motor when I'm getting off the plane at an airport. It's a foldable e-bike. But I gotta do a review on that too for my other one. So, hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's a pretty nice day. It's a longer flight, but we're getting through it. So, and feel very accomplished once all these around the USA flights are done. We've been at this since June, so. But I felt good last time too, and you get to see the whole country. You get to see stuff that you haven't seen before, which is even better with Microsoft Flight Simulator because of the satellite imagery. This is definitely up the game for VFR. Just don't touch the VFR map. We learned that last night. But those podcasts you guys were mentioning, I will definitely be interested in helping you out with those. It's just a matter of scheduling. So just let me know what the schedule looks like on that. But yeah, yep, that'd be cool. And again, we invite anyone during these flights here on Microsoft Flight Simulator. You don't have to be on VATSIM like me, but I do it on both to cater to that. You can always join a flight with me. I do try to post a couple hours in advance, and even a day in advance if I can, plan it out like that to join me on these flights. So we're gonna have to come up with more themes though. I have some ideas in mind, but I'm just trying to finish up these around the USA flights. So which I think are fantastic. Because again, you get to see every part of the country. And there's Marty with the hanging dead body on the plane. I'm sorry, that's fun. That'd be cool. Yep. And if you wanted to, I'm just throwing this out there, not that you have to, but you can coordinate with the Virtual USA Flying Club. We have a couple events for October already, but definitely I'll promote that for you in the club there, because we always just have Fly With Me events and stuff. So, I'm still intrigued at what that body is, Marty. There you go. He got it going on. He's just decorating for Halloween, and he has a ghost as pilot there, so that's cool. Nice job. Extra bonus points if you actually drop him on a target or something. But he's doing his formation flying again. That's awesome, man. I don't know if I could ever do that even in real life. That takes a lot of skill. So, but you also have virtual aviation shows as well. So yeah, we're gonna have to promote those. So that'd be cool. We're doing a poker run and the Virtual USA Flying Club in October 8th, which is actually Thursday. Is that Thursday? Yeah, this Thursday. So I'm gonna try to get on there for that one. But we're always looking for new members there too, and we'd love to coordinate with you guys because, as you know, the Virtual USA Flying Club is also an affiliate of Simulated Aviation. So let us know. But if you're tuned in, you'll be able to see that on my stream as well. Because I basically stream every flight I do, except if it's like a for me only training thing. Like I did some short field takeoffs and landings the other day, the 172, just to practice. So I am going to do that in real life. But more about cross-country flights right now. I got about 30 hours cross-country time in and trying to get to 50 so that when I start an instrument rating, I already have most of the cross-country on my end done. It's just a matter of doing the instrument training. So that would be cool. So now I'm wondering who you murdered over there. I'll go to flat with you. That'll be cool. Wait a minute. Why am I dangling? It's funny because usually the models I see in the Microsoft Flight Simulator are the 172 like mine. And now I'm thinking, did I put in a template or not? I'm not sure if I did. I think Microsoft just might have some more AI aircraft models in there, which is good for variety. So. Alright, Warhorse Lake is going to be north of us. Perfect visual. See it from a far distance. So I got an hour, almost 5 flight time. I said it would take me an hour 2. That's okay. We seem to be going a little slower than what I calculated, but that's okay. We just keep changing the times and eventually it will work out. So. But we are definitely on course because we can see all the checkpoints we did pick, and that's what you do in the real world. So, doing this thing here, 2 hours. So now we have a total flight time of 2:13, but we'll keep it going. See what happens. Alright, next checkpoint is the Box Elder Creek, I believe, which should be this big creek that we're going to see up ahead. We should be there in 4 minutes total. So that one's very close, but it's a very prominent checkpoint. But Warhorse Lake, everybody, right over there. Along with Wild Horse Lake. And this is stuff I've never seen in real life, nor on the simulator. I don't remember seeing these checkpoints, because I did it a little differently last year when I planned my Around the USA flights. This time we did the perimeter. If you want, again, I will display that map because we planned it all out in advance. I made a couple boo-boos here and there on planning, but we fixed them as we went, so. But here's what we are doing for flying. So we started out Plymouth, Massachusetts, my hometown. Went all the way down and around the perimeter, going up the west coast, and now we're in Montana, so There's Great Falls. We already went over Lewistown, and now we're going to Glendive, Montana, which is going to be our last stop in Montana. And then we're just going to keep heading west all the way down until we get back to Plymouth, Massachusetts, right over there. So, look forward to this. And I usually start them when we go on summer break for the schools that I teach at. So, and I'm in the Northeast, so we usually go to about June. We're not like the West where people get out in May. And yeah, I just try picking flights as I go around that thing, and we try to make it around the United States. So it usually takes a couple months, and I'm thinking it'll be November this time. So yeah, as far as scenery creation, it seems like people are really picking up on that. I was so used to using that's dead body again. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get over it. I was used to using oh god, what's it called? It'll come back to me. Give me a second. It's the Easy 3D design program. God, it gives an S. Let me see if I still have it on here. SketchUp, thank you. Which is Trimble SketchUp now. It used to be Google SketchUp. And I used to use that to make standard buildings and stuff, and it was really easy to use, but everything has to be Blender on this, which is just another 3D editing software. And to repaint the aircraft I've been doing, I've had to use it, but I'm not an expert on Blender by far. I just haven't really got the time to do it. Marty, you're doing excellent formation flying there, by the way. And it's been a learning curve, just repainting aircraft, so I can only imagine what it's like to do 3D modeling. I know some people are just downloading the 3D models off of Google or Trimble Warehouse and then reusing them. As long as you offer it for free and stuff, I guess it's okay. But the last scenery I created was right before Microsoft Flight Simulator came out, and I did it for the Virtual USA Flying Club. We had Bayport Airport, 3 November, because we'd fly the Skyline route through the Hudson in New York and then right down there, and that's a tricky airport to land in. It's a field airport, so it made it a little easy. I didn't have to worry about as many buildings and stuff. I had to make some custom buildings, and it went well. But again, that's prepared. That's not going to be the same structure as Microsoft Flight Simulator because it's a new engine and stuff. You know what? I'm going to take a picture of that, and I'm going to send that to Microsoft. Oh, wrong button. There we go. So I just took a picture of the legs dangling from you. And say, what is this? Box Elder Creek coming up ahead of us. And I'm thinking it's this right here. Yep. Or it could be this right here. Well, it's definitely one of these. I think it's this one actually. So that will be our next checkpoint. And I have about hour 10. What did I calculate? I said 109. It's taking us a little long. It's just that I calculated for 130 knot ground speed, and we're more like 120, so that's why the times are a little slow. But like I said, we just keep updating while we go. And we're good. We're definitely getting there, though. Which is why, again, flying's not an exact science. It's very much based on estimations, but as long as they're close and you know where you are, you're good. We cannot miss the next checkpoint, I don't believe, because that would be the Muscle River, and that'll be in 7 minutes. So I actually calculate this thing. Oh, give me a second. Oh no, I did calculate it right. Undo. The great joys of using a tablet with a stylus. You can push undo if you do something wrong. And it makes it so I don't have 5 million different pieces of paper around me with flight logs, which is what happened when I first started doing the flight planning, because I didn't have the tablet and I didn't use EFB. I mean, yeah, the electronic flight bag at all. But the Muscle River should be up ahead. Not that far. It looked pretty big, so. Some nice scenery around here. Maybe out here? That's what I'm thinking. So keep an eye out for it. And keep making our way out there. Oh yeah, yeah, he's doing awesome on that formation flying. Oh yeah. Oh, that's all right. You still tuned in. That's what matters. Where are you fishing? Well, thank you. Thank you. Not sure how I feel about that right now, but thank you. Yeah, I don't know about formation flying in my future as a there. Oh, that's cool. I haven't gone fishing in forever, so just haven't had the ambition or time. But I used to fish a lot when I was a teenager, so not like with my father or anything, just me going to a pond or a lake, so. Alright, keep looking for that Mussel Shell River, which I think is right here. We can see it in the distance now, so that was a good checkpoint. And then after that, we have some really long checkpoints. Like I'm talking, got 18 nautical miles, then 42. We get really desperate for some checkpoints there. So thank God for GPS. And we're still an hour out, believe it or not. We have another hour and 9 minutes according to my GPS to go. Ground speed of 121 knots. And 139 nautical miles to go. But it's looking like all my checkpoints are about a minute behind where they were calculated to be, and that's because our ground speed's not 130. What did I calculate? I said we have 136 knots ground speed, which was not true. So with the winds aloft, which can happen. This can happen in the real world. You just kind of take an estimate and say, oh well, I'm kind of 1 minute behind on all of them. So. But we are close still, and we are hitting our checkpoints. Again, that's what matters the most. And that sim, usually Sunday's a big day, but again, we're afternoon right now. And it's like 12 o'clock out west. But nothing in the middle here. Air traffic control right down there, and also in the northeast, obviously, because it is 3:28 p.m. out here. So usually in the afternoon, it picks up a lot more. They got some heavy traffic out here, too. So... Oh, one arrival at Plymouth. Interesting. Well, that's cool, because I never see anyone fly to Plymouth. That's my real-world home base there. So, quite interesting to see that. I know one time I logged into VATSIM, and someone used my call sign, which is November 48990. That was the 152 that I did my check ride in, and basically most of my training in. So that was interesting when they're like, you can't log in as that because someone else is logged in. So someone from the flight school must have logged into VATSIM like that. Oh, and when I flew the other day, I met Matt again. Matt was the gentleman who actually recognized me from the Eric Flight YouTube channel, the only one. And I was like, what? Yeah, you're online. You do the videos. They're great. I was like, oh, well, thank you. And he's like, yeah, I'll go up and fly sometime. He wants to split costs because he's a private pilot like me, and I don't have a problem with that at all. The only thing is that we have to split the flight hours half and half, along with the cost. So it is cheaper, yeah, but you only get the hours, like half of the hours on each side. And we're both trying to build time across country to get ready for the instrument rating. So, but I look forward to him emailing me, and we'll set up some flights there too. So there's going to be lots of opportunities for flights. It's just a matter of checking my schedule with family, time, job, and see if we can go to some interesting destinations. So, and that's going to be dependent on him as well. So, and my other friend who hopefully will be going up with me this Saturday, it's just a matter of getting him his private pilot check ride and the certificate so that he can fly. He flies the Archer, Piper Archer, so that'd be cool for me because then I can learn off of him a little bit. Not that I would be able to rent it because you have to get signed out on that, but very much into getting my instrument rating next. That's the goal. And then honestly, for me, I think that's about as far as I want to go. And maybe a CFI in the future, just to have it, because again, I teach for a living already, but I'm not really intending on doing that anytime soon. Just want the instrument rating and go and have fun with it. So, but what has to happen is COVID has to go away. Marty, still in formation. I'm impressed. I am very impressed with your skills, sir. COVID has to go away so we can make flying fun again. get back to realistic things, and it's just gonna take time, honestly. But all right, the Muscle Shell River is upon us. And that would be this river right here. I thought it would be wider. It looked a little bit wider on the sectional. It also says that there's some oil derricks down here or something. But I don't see anything down there. When we cross that, that's our checkpoint, and we're gonna have to really make sure we stay on course to make sure that we hit our checkpoints up ahead, which is gonna be more distanced out. So. The next airport we'll see, maybe, because it is a field airport, is Sand Springs Airport, and that'll be a checkpoint, I believe. 8 Uniform 1. Yes, that'll be our next checkpoint after Muscle Shell River. We're just about over Muscle Shell River, which was not as easy to see as I thought it would be. I mean, I guess it is. You just have to. I thought it would be wider. But it's pretty calm and easy flying flight after you get trimmed out, you know. So let's check the DG. By the way, should do that about every 50 minutes. I just rarely haven't done that. So it's about right. Yeah. So we're good. Again, the DG in real life, this thing, it will deviate a lot more than what it does in the simulator. I know that in the 172N the other day, it was deviating like every 5 minutes just by a little bit. So I was checking the compass and going, oh. So, but that's where GPS helps you too. But you can't always, I mean, you have to take it like the electronics might feel at any time. So you have to kind of know where you are. So let's get an update on where Marty is. He's off the left now. Good job. That takes skill. And we'll call that Muscle Shell River. I got about an hour 18, hour 19. So yeah, it's about a minute behind. But again, our ground speed's about 122, and I calculated for 130. So no problemo there. 36, let's see, 36, 45, right? Yeah. 202, 215. So yeah, it's gonna be about a minute extra on every checkpoint. That's what we're running right now. And the next checkpoint again will be 8 Uniform 1, and that'll be in about 8 to 9 minutes. Probably more like 9 minutes, seeing that we're running a minute behind most of our checkpoints. It'll be an airport that we almost basically overfly, so. That standard Elm's been around just for a while too, so. And if we can get a weather update somewhere, I don't think we can. That's how sparse it is out here for airports. That's why they have weather stations like I showed you on Weather Force. Right now it's reading Kilo Mike Victor Hotel here. And yeah, I could cheat and do this, but the altimeter is 299.5, winds gusting to 20 knots at a 280, 9 square miles visibility and clear. So, where do I have my altimeter set to? So you can't really read that well, so I always go to the knob. It's not gonna make much difference, but we're right where we should be, so. But again, this is having an update coming out tomorrow, I believe, for Rex Weather Force. That's what they were saying. It was supposed to come out on the 1st, but then they said they needed a little bit more time. But I really like it. I think it's a worthwhile engine, and I used a lot of Rex products before for graphics, not so much weather. I didn't like their weather engine that came with, God, I can't remember what it's called. But I did like Skyforce and stuff like that, which was like a shading program. And yeah, so they make good products. It's just the weather engine now, see, that's based off of METAR and where you are in the simulator. The old one was based on how much in nautical miles you moved. That's what it was a deal breaker for me, because it was like, just know where I am and put the METAR in, you know, which is what they do at Weather Force. So I can't complain. I think it's better than the Microsoft Flight Simulator, which was totally off here and there on winds. So. But yeah, I'm gonna be flying over Sand Springs Airport up ahead somewhere over here. And even this looks like it changed a little bit. It looks a lot flatland, pastel type colors. Yeah. Tell Marty's getting a little too close. He's getting a little hazy. The thing is, I can't see the legs from here, but yeah, if you're on my left, you're on my right side, I can see the legs. Oh, there they are. They're the other side now. I guess. I don't know. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, deviated a little bit there, but that's okay. Right back on track. Ground speed's still 121 knots, so we're about an hour out from our ultimate destination, which was to be expected, and we're an hour and 23 minutes into the flight, so. If for some weird reason I find time tonight, I might stream again tonight, but I'm not sold on that idea yet, so, because I want to try to get some other things done. But I will be updating the Eric Flight YouTube channel as soon as I can with those new real world flight videos, and I will definitely post on simulatadeaviation.com the Discord when I actually have those done. So I've been slowly showing my real world flights on the Simulated Aviation Discord, so I just didn't want to hog it all up with like putting 20 videos in a row. I want to give other people a chance, so. But even in the GPS here, it shows you how far away we are. My GPS on my tablet was saying 58.5, but this is calculating for my direction too, so. Just take it from what you will. Ground speed's pretty spot on though on both, 121 knots. So. So I heard a rumor about Twitch. Someone posted at the Rich USA Flying Club that now when someone raids your channel, or you rate theirs, if you're under 10 people rating, it doesn't really make a big deal out of it. So I don't know if that's a true story or not, but that's kind of a bummer for people who really are trying to spread the love, if you will. So as we grow in viewership over time, I will definitely do some raids to some channels. But we shall see what happens in the future. Sand Springs Airport should be kind of in front of us. It is a field airport, so maybe down here. That's what I'm thinking. Look at the highway here. Should be right up the highway actually, so these field airports are pretty hard to see at first. Looks to be right in the corner here, according to the sectional. Got some farmland there. That's not an easy one to spot. Maybe it's over here. Is that it? Can't really tell. Could be it over there. But I thought it would be in here, so. But anyways, that will be our checkpoint as we pass over. you could land there if you had a problem. That's the good news about Montana. You got engine problems or whatever, you could definitely find a place to land if you're not over the mountains. This could be it right here. That's what I'm thinking. The sectional said it was more over here. Regardless, that will be our checkpoint, which we are basically over. So we got like an hour 27, hour 28. I said an hour 26. So again, you're seeing the same commonality of the checkpoint, just taking us a little bit longer to do these, which is fine, because the ground speed's a little bit less. So next checkpoint, third to last checkpoint, is Lupar Airport, which is a private airport, and that's going to be 42 nautical miles away. So we have to really make sure we stay on track. There wasn't much to find here for a checkpoint, and 19 minutes away. So we'll see what happens. But the scenery is very beautiful and majestic here, but it is a little redundant after a while. I feel personally, it's my opinion. So. That airport is down there somewhere, just a matter of where. You got some nice traffic on the road there too, that's cool. Basically, if you follow this highway, you'd be going slightly to the north. Like if you got really, really lost, follow that highway up to Cape Circletown County Airport, and then just go back down the highway. That would take you to where we're going, Dawson Community Airport. We're going more direct, obviously, to save some time. But just food for thought. Follow that, go to the north, then follow it back down. So yeah, this would be a good area though to practice emergency procedures for losing an engine. Just pull out the throttle and see where you end up. Not that I'm gonna do that now, but if anyone else is hearing me out there, good training opportunities to really have some open area to practice emergency landings. And I don't see Marty right now, but that's cool. Thank you, Marty, for the formation flying. Oh, wait, no, he's down there. He fooled me. I didn't think he left, but I didn't see him right away. Checking out the lower decks there. I didn't see you at first. I was like, where'd he go? He turned into... What was that? Oh, good. All right. Cool. Well, thank you. We only have another 52 and a half minutes to go. So, to give you an update visually, we got fantastic here. We are right here. That's where we're going, Dawson Community, and that's where we were at Great Falls. So, that gold bar will show you that we're over halfway there. So that's cool. We're living on a prayer. All right, that was corny. Just don't. Of course, it's recorded for all time now, but I had to do it. Had to do it. All right. So again, Lupar Airport, restricted, well, private airport, I should say. It'll be off to our left, but it's quite a number of miles. There is a lake on the sectional, or some type of water body in front of us, which I was also going to check, but there's no name on it, so I couldn't really give it a name. Unless I'd say lake in the middle of nowhere, which I wasn't going to do. That should be coming up ahead of us as well. Every little detail, though, they did a really nice job with the satellite imagery here. So, it's been clear as day out here. I mean, it's amazing. Very, very clear flying. Outside air temperature again is 14. Does that say 14? Yeah, it says 14 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if you are in a carbureted engine, you'd be just on the lookout for any carb ice at that. It can be anywhere from 70 to 20 with humidity in the air. So, I don't think there'd be a lot of humidity in the air here, but just in case. ship shape though. We're on our way. And we'll look for that water body coming up ahead. What happened to my music? Oh, it's just really low. Let's go to another track then. Too quiet for me. There you go. And proud to say I haven't used autopilot at all on this flight. Just sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But most of the time I'm flying just like I do in real life, just by hand. So, which is something I didn't do a lot of before I did the private pilot certificate and all that training. Because let's face it, most people just set the autopilot and say, I'm flying. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Just nothing can take away from pilotage skills. So, and it's not an airliner, so you know. Just gonna check my Discord really fast, make sure I'm not missing anybody here. But posted some of those pictures I took from Danielson, Connecticut on the Simulated Aviation Discord as well. So I'll just keep posting stuff as it comes. You can check all that stuff out. Excuse me. Longer flight here. Just gotta keep it going. Keep it going. Let's look for that water body. Yeah, right there. So as long as I'm flying over that, I know I'm on course. So just things to be cognizant of as you are picking a way far away checkpoint. But I'll tell you what, if that livery, if the Aeroflight livery actually works the way it's supposed to, and I get to work in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'll also post pictures of that on the Simulated Aviation Discord as well, because that will be a great accomplishment to learn how to paint aircraft in a different way. Because before, again, it was just texture sheets and you just edit those, and it was easy on Photoshop and stuff. I tried just to recreate the short-lived one on Prepared because honestly, I did that over the summer, and I didn't get much time with it because we switched to Microsoft Flight Simulator. So it was also, everything was already created, so I just had to put it on there. But they didn't really have a template for that because I kind of mixed up a 182. You know what? I could check into that eventually, based on what happens with this one. So. But I took a mixture of like the new 182 paint that they had on the Cessna website. I kind of put some Aeroflight regalia on there, and I used the colors for my logo. But most aircraft are mostly white, again, to cut down on heat and overheating the engine and stuff. So it's a lot of elements. I'm gonna again go on to the tail, which is the most important part. It has the blue, the Aeroflight logo on it, and I like it. So some people didn't like it, but I like it, and that's what matters if I'm going to spend the hours on it. So yeah, I don't even know what this body of water is. All I know is that I need to look for that while I was on my way to the checkpoint, but definitely on course. So again, relying on GPS so much, it's great. It's a great tool, obviously. I love having GPS, but I'm going to have to try to fly a flight without the electronic flight bag and stuff and make sure I have those skills still, which I'm sure I do. I mean, keep practicing those without looking. I just double check with the GPS, but we're going to, I don't know, maybe I should do a video where I plan it all out on video, and then we do the flight and I combine that video after the planning just to show you what's going on. That's another thought I'm floating around. Might be kind of cool. But I'll show like the quick and easy way to do the E6B here. This is the Sporty's E6B. I love this thing. And not use so much traditional things. Like I'll even use Sky Vector to get what the plotter would do and plot out the course and everything. So, but I'll do it on my paper sectional, so I'm forced to use nothing but a paper sectional. Now I'll probably be in New England if I'm going to do that, because I only own the New York paper sectional, because I don't really fly anywhere out of the New York sectional just yet. So just cost prohibitive for now. There's not even much VAT sim traffic out here. Like literally, the closest one is in Regina, Canada. So it is what it is. But Lupar, we're halfway there, and it will be on our left. So the cool news about painting aircraft, from what I saw, is that if you have the graphics in Blender, it makes it so that it's a stencil. You place it where you want on the 3D model, and then you just color it right on there like a stencil, and it does it for you. Because the mapping of the textures is a little more intricate than what it was in the past. So, because again, they probably used Blender to paint on the actual 3D model as you see it. So, but you know, I guess I can reveal a little bit of that. Might be nice to see. Let me see if I can get Blender started here, and then I'll load up. I'll give you a little preview of the fuselage at least. Sorry that went blinking for a second. And keep flying here. We just have a lot of open land here, so why not, right? So anyways, you got to use Blender to repaint the aircraft. And as you can see, I'm not the best at this yet. In fact, I think I just painted the aircraft by accident there. Oh, there we go. Shit. Yeah, middle mouse button. So you got to paint it right on the 3D model. You have to get this importer for the 3D model. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm on course here. And then you paint right on it, and it makes the texture sheet right here as you paint. So you see why it's difficult? Like this would be the numbers in the back here. And I painted it, but it would have some here and then a very little bit over here. But it looks perfectly fine. It's just that the mapping of the textures is very different than what it used to be. So, but I have to go for the tail next, which means I have to start a whole new texture sheet just for the tail. And that's what it looks like for now. That's all I need to do is the tail, honestly. Everything else was pretty good, and then we'll load it up and we'll see what happens. But it's a lot more intricate than it used to be. Before, we just have a texture sheet, have everything mapped out, you change the colors, you save it, you put it in, there's a texture, you're fine. Now what you have to actually get on the 3D model if you don't have a template. I actually messed this up already, so I'm not going to save anything. And then you just kind of put it on there and do your thing, you know? So, getting the colors right, making sure everything's colored in. It's a lot more intricate things to painting aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so. And I will not save that. So that's where we are with the paint, so. And they had an excellent YouTube tutorial video, so maybe I should forward that for simulated aviation. Kind of helped me out. It's still a learning curve, but it did pretty good. So, in fact, I'll send that link to you guys. You can post it there about painting aircraft when I get a chance. So, Lupar Airport still ahead. We're 85 nautical miles from our ultimate destination and 43 minutes out. So. But hopefully that does come out, because I spent quite a number of hours on that. Again, I'm a creative person. I love being creative, hence why we do the streaming and the Eric Flight videos and everything else. So we'll see what happens with it. And once you make that texture sheet off of Blender, then you could send that out and say this is a template. But as you can see, some of the text and stuff is a little bit on too, like textures. So just try to make that first, and then we'll go from there. But if you download the templates from the multi-pack liveries there, you could probably just come up with a really quick and easy paint job, because you could just follow one, change the colors, and then stencil on like a logo or something like that. So. But yeah, it's more of the same. I mean, I'm not bored, but I'm just saying it's more of the same. It's low land, it's rocky terrain, and not so much mountains anymore. We probably won't see much of mountains on the rest of our flight, so. And then, when we've had enough of this flight, oh, real world traffic right there. Let's check out what that is. November 584, Sierra Tango. What I'm using is Flight Radar 24. You can search out any real-life aircraft. So that is a Pilatus VC-12. It's from Wolf Point, Kilo Oscar Lima Foxtrot, and it doesn't have the destination. So, but it's cool to check out real-world weather and see what it's doing. E01. That's where it came from, or to. That might be the destination. So. Really cool to see real world weather in the sim. I wish that they'd get it a little bit more accurate, because sometimes it's a little delayed and stuff, but that might be because it might get stuck at an airport. But yeah, if you check up that thing, the live traffic is in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it'll just have the call sign. That's how you can kind of tell it doesn't have the username. And then use Flight Radar 24, and on long flights like this, can keep you actively engaged, can see what it is, and stuff like that. And then if you go, you can listen to live air traffic control. I think it's liveatc.net. You can kind of sometimes get hear the aircraft too as well. So, and I only have the free version. I didn't subscribe to Flight Radar 24 because they might have that as a feature on there too as well. But it's just an app for. I think they also have it on Apple devices as well. So my house in the real world, we're like right underneath a arrival route for Boston. So I'll be cooking on the porch there on the grill, and my son will be out there and we'll check out what the airplanes are flying with. They're usually like Delta, American Airlines, or JetBlue. So it's pretty cool, but some international flights too. But yeah, gives you something to do, especially on these longer VFR flights, which again, I appreciate doing. I really like doing them. I don't have a problem doing them at all, but I usually plan for about an hour, and if I have to, like on this had to be a long leg. There's no way that we're going to get over Montana without being a long leg, which is understandable. Lupar Airport should be up ahead on our left. I don't know if you can see it now. Yeah, I mean, I did virtual aviation back in the day, and I'm not saying I got bored of it, but it was a lot to undertake, and you just set the autopilot and kind of let it fly its thing, and you look forward to the landings. Obviously, it went a lot faster, and you got places a lot faster, but I like seeing the scenery, and it keeps me using whatever skills I can use. But there's nothing wrong with airliners either, so. But long flights versus short flights, again, if you have kids like I do, you can't do like the 6-hour marathon flight, and I always fly with real time. I never do compression or anything like that, which I heard is kind of a horror story on the simulator because you can't really see where you're at, but maybe they fix that too. But I just don't have the availability I think I'm looking for to do all day Sunday flying from like 12 o'clock to like 6 o'clock at night. Just can't do that with kids. It's just not possible. So they're at their grandparents right now, so I have a little reprieve, but my wife has been really good about that. So, especially with this simulator, this is just raises to a whole new bar because you're seeing what you would see out the window. It's just, yeah. I watched them earlier. She did the grocery shopping because usually one of us goes due to COVID, but she's more that person because she thinks that I don't do a very good job at making sure everything is there. So. And grocery stores now have like pickup, so which I used to work in a grocery store during college and used to think that was lazy, but during COVID it makes sense. It's nice that they actually have that. So Lupar Airport, looking for it. Somewhere over here up to the left is a private strip. Is that it? These private airports, and this is a failed airport, just very hard to spot. Oh, there it is. Maybe? No. Really hard to spot. And you don't have a direction or anything on the runway, 'cause it just says Field Airport. So I'm usually the grill master. If we're gonna cook meats or something, I do the grilling. But it's getting a little colder as we go here. And there was still a football game to watch here in New England because Cam Newton got COVID, so which really sucks actually. But the whole Tom Brady, Cam Newton thing has been one thing after another. But last night I tried to watch Saturday Night Live, and it looked pretty good on the opening, but then I fell asleep. It's me at my older age. And I used to stay out till like 3 a.m. doing like gigs and stuff on weekends. And now I'm lucky if I'm up till 1 a.m. Oh, it's crazy. We had bundle pickup. I actually worked at a supermarket in Boston because I was working there part-time while at Berklee College of Music. And the big thing then, this is like 98, 99, was we'd put your groceries into a basket and we'd send it down a conveyor belt where you could pick it up in the back of the store. And I remember I met this lady from Quebec and she was speaking French, so I thought, oh, I'll impress her, you know, get some customer service skills. So I started talking to her in French and she was really impressed, except for the part where I was like, I went to go say, I'm going to put your groceries in the box and you can pick them up underneath the supermarket. I was going to say that all in French, and I use, instead of using the word boîte for box, I used corbeille, which is trash basket. So that was a good time, and she just looked at me like, what? So yeah, you know, we did good. We got through that though eventually. She still appreciated my attempts at helping out there. And at times where I tried Spanish, thing that I never took a Spanish class, but I have like that much Spanish language in my mind. Those went just okay, mostly sí and no. But yeah, telling a lady that you're gonna throw her stuff in garbage, it's not good. And that airfield's supposed to be off here, so I don't know if you can see it. Could be this, could be down here. There is a private strip down there. So again, we're gonna use the GPS to call it. I got about an hour 48, hour 49. What did I say? Hour 47. So yeah, it's following that whole theme of taking an extra minute, which isn't a bad thing. It's just that again, the ground speed is not what I calculate. It's a little slower. All right. Well, we have one more checkpoint before we get to the airport, but we're still a good 69 nautical miles out. And again, that's because I had to pick checkpoints. There's lots of open land here. So Circle Town Airport 4. Uniform 6 is our next checkpoint, and that is quite the distance away. That's 1. It's the Circletown County Airport, so it's gonna be off our left, but way up north. So we'll see if we can even see it. And 2, it's about a good 30-something nautical miles ahead. So again, we're just gonna keep track here. I should be passing some slightly higher elevations north of me. That's what I'm gonna kind of look for to make sure I'm on track. But yeah, part-time jobs were pretty good because you got some interesting moments like that. So if you just joined us, we are continuing our Around the USA flights, and we're on a long one today. This is going to take a little over 2 hours to complete, but we're 32 minutes out now. We're going to Dawson Community Airport, Kilo Golf Delta Victor, and feel free to chat or just sit back and watch. It's all up to you. I'm just proud that you're here and watching our stream. Feel free to follow while you're here, and also if you want to check out some more video of archive flights, you can always go to Eric Flight on YouTube. Would appreciate a subscribe and a thumbs up on any videos you see there that interest you. And other than that, enjoy the flight. Hope I get some good sights for you. So yeah, let's look up. I haven't looked up for Mari in a while, but Mari from SimulateAviation.com is flying with us. He's back there. He was doing some formation flying before, and it got quite interesting. He had a pair of legs dangling from the C-172 that he was flying while near me. So it's quite interesting. I never saw anything like that on model matching before. We are in Montana. There's lots of open space and some mountainous terrain here and there. that is real world satellite imagery, so. Flintstones type, there you go. I guess so. Yeah, I didn't even think about, that had to go through my head for like a second. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, like Fred Flintstone with the legs out of the car. I got it now. But interesting observation there. All right, so if any of you want to let us know where you're from and what you usually fly or what you do in virtual aviation, let us know. Even real world aviation, let us know. I have met quite a number of different types of people here. We have a CFI that usually flies with me now, here and there, so that's always a cool thing. And other real world pilots, also being a member of the Virtual USA Flying Club. There's some airline pilots there and stuff, so it's been pretty interesting, people that you bump into. And again, that guy Mike that met me at Plymouth Airport as I was flying in real life, he's like, oh, you're on YouTube. Yeah, that was interesting too. So that was the first time I ever anyone recognized me. So I'm the short pilot. I'm like the shortest guy usually at the airport. So that's what they probably think first, deep in their head. They're like, man, this guy's short. But yeah, he makes the videos. Can't change the height. I have to be like Elton John with like platform shoes. But our next checkpoint isn't for a while, so it's gonna take some patience here. Interesting scenery here. Tell you what I do plan on doing in the future. I still have a bunch of Eric Flight keychains. So as we get more loyal viewers, I think I'm going to send out a couple to the most loyal viewers on Twitch and YouTube. So let yourself be known. There might be something in this for you in the future. But they're pretty nice. They have the Eric Flight logo on them in YouTube. And on the other side, it says remove before flight. So it's kind of like a pitot tube checker thing. You could use it for that. So, we have our first thing of spam in a while, so let me ban them. Blocking. There we go. But I like to earn my followers. I want to make sure that I'm worthy of anyone that wants to follow and subscribe to the Airflight channel. But we have been having an uptick lately, so I think I'm doing something right at least. It's been a very clear day here. It is rather cold. Last time I checked, the outside air temperature was 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, Marty from SimulatedAviation.com is behind us, joining us on this flight. No big follows. Not needed. Not needed. Because usually they don't stick around because they're all made up and fake. So, I'm good. I will earn mine. So, I also run another YouTube channel, which is pretty successful. And that's how I pay for my real flying. And just do-it-yourself videos and product reviews. But it's, again, authentic reviews. I don't ever really cheat on the reviews. But I've had companies like email me and say, oh yeah, we'd love to have you do a review, but we need 5 stars on Amazon, blah, blah, blah. I don't even review on Amazon anymore because of that. Because it's like, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that say, oh, We'll say the product to review, but we need 5 stars. It's like, that's not how this works. You send me the product, and then I'll send the link out in a second. But you send me the product, then I actually do like a real review. And seeing that you're so proud of your product, it should look pretty good by the end of it. I mean, I always point out the pros and cons. I'm not just gonna say this is an excellent product, you should buy it at 5 stars. Like, 1, that's way too easy, and 2, no one's gonna be watching me after a while. But if you must know, that's the Eric DIY channel. You can see a little theme happening here on YouTube. So, just a bunch of product videos. We did some lawnmower repair videos, me and my son, the other day. But I haven't been updating that as much, again, because I'm really trying to work on the Eric Flight channel and these streams and stuff a lot more. So that's where my time has been going. And I still have 3 more real-world flight videos for Eric Flight. I just did a flight yesterday, so. Yeah, it pays for the flying, and it paid for the whole, I keep a spreadsheet again with all my costs and stuff, and it paid for the whole private certificate, all the training, and it still pays for my real-world flying, and I make sure I stay in budget in that so I don't use any of my salary from teaching. So it's been very successful, and I'm very proud to mention that, because I really didn't just start and say I'm going to make all this money. Yeah.
I want to do barrel rolls and loop
oh, got a new follower on Twitch. Thank you so much, HGTS Hornet.
Too many lawsuits.
Enjoy the sound file. Heck flat. So I made that myself. That's from Space Cowboys. It's one of the best movies. If you haven't seen Space Cowboys, you should definitely check it out. That is the scene that my wife said that I would be like when I went for my Discovery flight the first time. But thank you so much for following. We like all followers and subscribers. That's the only way this is going to be successful. So, and Simulated Aviation is with us here today as well. Feel free to check them out. I am an affiliate, but there's nothing monetary. It's just us promoting each other. They have a great game plan to try to centralize the virtual aviation hobby more, and they're coming up more and more in ideas, and I'm proud to work with them to expand the hobby. So, but yeah, Hornet, if you like, tell us where you're from, what you fly, or if you just like watching videos. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm going to put you on the spot, but it'd be nice to know a little bit about you if you want to share. And we're in Montana. We're about 24.5 minutes out of this 2-hour and 13-minute about flight. 50 nautical miles out from Kilo Golf Delta Victor, and we are on our way. So, in fact, I still have to look at that video from yesterday's flight in the real world to Danielson, Connecticut, because there was a glider taking off in front of me as I was landing, and that was awesome. That was the first time I ever saw really a glider in front of me. But I've seen a lot of things in my real world flying. When I was at Plymouth taxiing out, they had the Goodyear blimp there one time, and today's also the anniversary of a terrible event, which was this warbird. I don't know if you remember this story from last year, but this warbird crashed in Connecticut, I believe, and that warbird actually visited Plymouth Airport before it went out to Connecticut, and I got to see that taxiing by me in Plymouth, so that was a cool thing to see. And the second to last flight that I flew in real life, I forget, at Night of Nines, I think it was called. It was a warbird. But I flew into New Bedford for lunch about a week and a half ago, and I followed in a warbird. Yeah, exactly, the heritage flights, which I don't know if they're allowed to do those anymore. They might have been suspended for maintenance reasons. So, let me see if I can, it's like the Collins or something. So we'll see. Collins Foundation, I think. Yeah, part of the American Heritage Museum. And they're still around, but I think they had to ground a lot of the flying. They still have Witchcraft, which is a B-17, I believe. But it was cool to taxi by that, and it was cool to fly and follow one into New Bedford the other day. He actually overtook me, but I didn't mind. I was like, dude, I want to see this thing, So I was turning into a right base, and it was Class D, so the traffic control was like, oh yeah, you'd be following a warbird on final. So I was like, that's cool. Yeah, we will meet up. It's just a matter of planning. I like the airport grill there. It has the outdoor patio. So we will definitely meet up sometime. And I mean, don't even mind taking you up if you want to go up a little bit, because I'm going to fly the flights anyways and get the flight time, so. But you definitely got the right area in Falmouth there, so. Usually, again, I'm overflying Falmouth and Woods Hole if I'm going to Martha's Vineyard, so. Oh, we could maybe try fishing, Heck, at that point, I might as well just get the seaplane rating. Nope. I don't think I'm ever really going to do that either. I think I'm good with just single engine. I'm not even thinking multi-engine yet, so. I just don't think I would have a use for that. It's more of a private pilot going out and flying a couple flights, so. Would get you there faster though, wouldn't it? Alright, our checkpoint again will be Circle, Town, County, out here for Uniform 6. We don't know if we're going to see that. I have GPS on my tablet here. Same program we use in the real world, Avere, because I am not an Apple guy. Sorry if you are, just me or a woman. But I use it. It's free. It's on Android, and it serves everything I need. It has the charts and everything They do get updated, so. Alright, I will. I mean, I don't think I'm going back there anytime soon because I like biking it. Like last time I went there, and there's a video on the Eric Flight YouTube. My last visit to Martha's Vineyard, and I actually took the e-bike, put it in the back of the 172, landed there, and I spent a day there. We did some biking around the island, which is fantastic for us. Probably the best place I've ever been to for that. But, exactly. It's getting cold and empty, but I don't mind the cold. I flew to Block Island in December last year, but again, that was my third flight as a private pilot. And the restaurant was closed. This is pre-COVID, too. The restaurant was closed due to, like, the water pump not working. So it kind of stunk to fly all the way out there just to have that happen. And they charged me a $10 landing fee, and I only spent like 15 minutes there on the ground. So they did warn me from the air, but it is what it is, you know? We are on our way. We are getting there. This flight doesn't feel as long when you have people to talk to, which is why I also like streaming. So, but that Collins Foundation here, they have a bunch of World War II aircraft. They have a TP-40N Warhawk there, the Mustang. They have some German aircraft. Here's a Messerschmitt. Get another Mustang, but it does cost quite a pretty penny to take a flight on one of those, I believe, as well. So I don't know if I saved up enough money. I think at that point I'd want to fly a Cirrus. So we'll see. But yeah, I went out to Jaws Bridge and stuff like that on the bike. I not e-biked that. I put on pedal assist one, so I got some exercise. But I wanted to get some time to go around to all those things, and that was pretty cool. Just check that video out. It's there. And eventually, I'll post it to simulatedaviation.com Discord. But again, I'm doing it one at a time, so I give some people a chance to post their videos, and it's not just an Eric Flight wall of videos. But I'll post the next one in sequence today, probably after this flight. So they're very nice at Martha's Vineyard too. When you land there, they got like the courtesy shuttle that comes out there, and I was like, well, can I just ride my e-bike in? They're like, oh yeah, sure. They weren't used to me because I'm the oddball with the e-bike that sets it all up. But it felt like a Tom Cruise moment on an e-bike as I went to the General Aviation office to check in with them, you know? On the airport. It was cool. Alright, Circletown County. Should be out there. I don't think we're going to see this, so I'm going to use the GPS. There's also supposed to be a ranch out here, which again, doesn't really show up that well in the simulator. So we'll guesstimate on this checkpoint, but honestly, we're on our way. So there's nothing much that we can do with these checkpoints other than just try our best. An update on Marty. He's still behind me, everyone. Appreciate that on this long flight. It's one of the longer ones. But got some interesting scenery here. Got some creeks and stuff. Valleys. A little bit of mountainous terrain. Quite hilly. Yeah, it's really nice. This must be bad sim traffic out there because it doesn't have a call sign. So it is. It's a good Sunday flying event, but yeah, I don't know what that is. That's gotta be bad sim because it doesn't have a call sign. That's all I can think of. So that's what it looks like. It's very much like real life where there's no call sign or anything. But if you use Prepared or X-Plane, it does have the call signs. It's just on this simulator. So but that's why we use nav lights and strobes, even during the day. The nav lights don't really have to be on, you know, and the strobes don't have to be on until nighttime, but I like to turn everything on. So yeah, I mean, if you like to drink and fly. Remember the legal limit's .04. Enjoy. Those days are quite behind me as a family man and in my 40s. But I did enjoy those days of my 20s and stuff. So again, being an original rock band endeavors, it kind of goes with the territory. So .04. Remember that. That's funny. When I went out with my friend to the Airport Grill in New Bedford, this was a while ago. I think this was in February. He had the beer, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not allowed to have a beer. I gotta fly us back." He's like, "That's right, damn right. You just look at me and you say that you know you could live through me." So yeah, nothing wrong with it. Like I said, do what makes you feel good. But Circletown County Airport is out there. Probably need binoculars to see this thing. So we are gonna call it right about now for a check. But I'm gonna use the I'm gonna have to use the GPS. So I got 2 hours and 7 minutes. And I calculated 2 hours and 5, but again, this was a longer distance. This was like 30 nautical miles, so total flight time should be around 2:22. So about 2.5 hours total when we get there, and we're on our way to our final destination, which is Dawson Community Airport, Kilo Golf Delta Victor. 30 nautical miles out, 15 minutes out, and pattern altitude, so we just get that ready to go, is 3,450. We could do 2,500. 3,500 will be fine. So we are going to have to start a descent pretty soon. Let's start descending to see where we end up. So I'm going to go cruising descent about 2,200, 2,100. That should put us about 500 feet per minute typically. If not, we trim up. We're just going to let it float down to where we need to be. 3,500. We'll also be coming over the Clear Creek up ahead. So there's nothing wrong with chilling back as long as you are safe, right? Many things becoming a real world pilot though will make you do. And it was funny, they had a meme and they said it was like college, and it basically said college at like some university, and it showed like them partying it up with like frat houses and stuff, and then it said parties at like ATP or whatever it was they had there, and it just had like the dorm room empty. So it kind of tells you where that goes. But even me, I got a lot healthier from when I first started doing my private training back in 2016, and lost about almost 50 pounds since then. So you got to keep it off. If you want to keep flying, you got to be healthy. So, and that's from my former high school athlete. I was never like the lightest person, but I was in pretty good shape back then. Those are my glory days. I'm gonna relive them in my mind. So, hand flown for over 2 hours. I think that's a good accomplishment. Am I right? I think that's a good accomplishment. Again, just more of the same though. Oh, Marty! You got the dead man legs going on there again. Or as you called them, the Fred Flintstone legs. And it's cool because, you know, it's weird. It's not cool. It's weird because you don't have the upper body showing it all. And you have no one flying the plane over there. So. But very impressive formation flying, especially seeing that I'm slowing down now that we're doing a descent. So. Looking out for Clear Creek, just another visual on the way to the airport to make sure that we're good. Again, we have the GPS here and I have it on my tablet, so. And we're descending to 3,500 feet to get ready for pattern altitude. This is a non-controlled airport. This is just like Plymouth, so it's basically Class G around the airport. So, non-towered, you just go for it. Maybe we can get some weather. We'll see if we can get the weather from here. It's a little far out. That's the thing about Danielson the other day, too. Their weather equipment doesn't have very strong transmission, because I was... What just happened on my radio? That's like weird. Alright, we'll do it manually then. That was weird. I can't get the 075. It gave me 06. Does that make sense? No, not at all. So I did something with the spacing there. But let's give it the good old college try here. 075. There we go.
Kilo Golf Delta Victor automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 320 at 12. Visibility 9er. Sky condition clear. Temperature 1C dew point. 13C altimeter 29er 80.
All Alright, so that seems pretty
Kilo
good.
Golf Delta Victor automated weather observation.
Probably land
2000.
runway 30.
Wind
Altimeter
320
2980.
Visibility 9er. Sky condition clear. Temperature 1C dew point. 1 tree C altimeter 2980.
Alright, so I don't know what happened with my SciTech radio panel there. It was only giving me 0.06, not 0.07. So I just went here, did the 530, and put it in there manually. And now it's working fine again. And again, we're on 122.8 just for VATSIM in case there's any traffic, so I will have to report where I am. Just like real life, a little off course here. And we're also going to enrich the mixture just slightly as we descend here. Marty's right off my right ring, again, holding a dead body or something. Nice control. Nice control. I'm impressed. I am going to the right a little bit, so be careful. I went a little too far to the left there. The weather's been gorgeous this whole flight, so can't complain about that at all. You should see some train tracks, so if we get lost, follow some train tracks you might see off the left here. Already practicing formation flag, right, beautiful sun. Get a little bit more color in the textures here, so that's cool too. Alright, taking a screenshot, smile. Even if I do get your weird dangling legs in there. There you go. We're on our way. We're not going to see the airport yet. We're still 18 nautical miles out, about 10 minutes out. We are starting our descent down to 3,500 though. So, should mixture a little bit more. Just keep this descent going on. And definitely we'll do runway 30. Let's make sure that that's a left pattern, which I believe it is. It doesn't say anything on the section about any right patterns. It is. So here's what we're going to do for an entry. We're going to do a left 45 downwind for runway 30. The winds, once again, are 320. So we're going to have a slight little wind from our right. Well, 1-2, not. So we'll have a wind from our right, not just a slight one. And we'll compensate for that as we land. So. And as I get into the outer boundaries of G, I will report 7 miles out. Not that anyone on VATSIM is around me, but we're going to follow some real-world protocols for non-towered airports. And that's what VATSIM will do for you. A lot of people get overwhelmed at this whole thing. But honestly, people like me, especially if you join the Virtual USA Flying Club, and other people will help you with this. It's just something you learn over time. I mean, I was the same way too. And then the private pilot training obviously helped, but he didn't really have to tell me, all right, take over the comms. I actually tried doing it all the time when I was in the pattern. I was like, is that okay? He's like, yeah, cool. So take the initiative, take the bull by the horns, and just go for it. That's what I would say. We are about 14 nautical miles out, and gonna be there in about 7.5 minutes at the airport. Doesn't mean I'm gonna land in 7.5 minutes, but so it's right on the banks of the Yellowstone River. So that's interesting too. Where is Yellowstone in relation to this though? I'd have to look at that. Got the Missouri River, and then the Yellowstone River goes from the south of that, so we'll research that while I'm descending. No, so we're not even close, because, yeah. Or maybe, I don't know. Let's check it out. We'll check it out. Well, it must lead down to Yellowstone eventually, which is way to the south. Way to the south and even more west. So that's the reason why I can think they would call it the Yellowstone River. But yeah, it seems to... Yeah, it does. It goes all the way down to Yellowstone National Park, which is way far out. So you learn something new every day. Mario again doing some formation flagging on this descent. Hope you got some good practice today. It looks like you did. And this is that road, and there should be some railroad tracks right to the right of it. It looks like there are. You can kind of make them out. And that will go right to Glendive, Montana, if we need any help. But the airport should be in front of us. And I'm going to do a little friendly check-in. So here we go. Dawson traffic says United Echo Foxtrot, 11 miles to the northwest. We're going to set up a 45 for runway 30, Dawson. And that was going out to VAT Sim. That will let anyone know in the area where I am, and what I'm doing. So it's all good. And we'll try and get down to 3,500. We're going to enrich the mixture a little bit more. Right about there. Continue our descent. Pattern altitude again is 3,500. So, and I think Marty's getting ready for landing too. Should be out there in the distance. I'm trying to stay a little bit north so I can give a really good 45 here. We are definitely getting there. And a last minute plug for Simulated Aviation, by the way. They are having an Orbex giveaway. So if you go to simulatedAviation.com, there'll be a link right in the top there. You're going to have 3 winners. You get to pick from these bundles for Prepared or X-Plane 11. So feel free to go there. You can join 10 ways to enter there. I did some of them, and we'll see what happens. So I don't know if I'm really allowed to as an affiliate anymore, but you let me know, because I did it way before we officially joined forces. So, but it is what it is. But it's definitely a great giveaway, hence why I did it. Looking for that airport. We're about 7 nautical miles almost to the northwest, and I am on a 45 path. I would like to get a little bit lower before then. Okay, enriching the mixture a little bit more. Again, we're looking at RPMs, maximum RPMs. And we're looking for that airport. This is where GPS becomes handy, so that you can get an idea of where you are in relation to the airport. So. And we're going to get a little quieter as we get closer, by the way. So, sorry if I don't talk as much. It's probably a good thing for me. But it's only because I'm trying to focus. But I believe this is the airport right here. And we do have to descend a little bit more. So, let's get that going. Dawson traffic says United Echo Foxtrot 5 miles out on the 45 for runway 30, Dawson. And Glendive, Montana is out here. So it's right around the Yellowstone River out there, which is this thing right here, I believe. Let's make this a good landing. So. Call 2 miles out, and then that is definitely the airport, I think. Just can't really see the runway that well. I don't even remember the last time I crashed on the simulator, and that's a good thing. So, I'm not gonna make that happen. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I was at Santa Ana, parked with the parking brake and the engine off, and I sent the drone out to go look at Disneyland, and it said I crashed. So that would be the last time I crashed. I am mistaken. I didn't quite understand how that happened, but it did. Glendive, Montana, everybody. There's the beacon. And we're almost 2 miles out in the 45. I do want to get down to 3,500 though, so let's slow this thing up just a little bit more. This doesn't need carb heat because it's not carbureted, which is always nice. Dawson traffic says United Foxtrot 2 miles out in the 45, runway 30, Dawson. We'll turn downwind here a little bit. Again, we want the runway to be halfway up the wing strut. That's the proper distance, and that just takes practice. But you can see the runway's right here. Would have been nice if that loaded a little bit more in advance, but you know, it does what it does. The way that I do is I look for 20 to pop up ahead of me, and that way I kind of know. I'm sorry, 12 behind me. Hello. 12 in front of me, 30 behind me, and that way I know I'm kind of lined up for runway 30. I keep thinking I'm landing 20. So, but there we go. We're right in. Oh, hello. That was a little bit of a strong wind. Dawson traffic says United Foxtrot. We're left downwind for runway 30, Dawson. Okay, we'll line up with the numbers, and then we'll kick the RPMs back to 1,700. I'm kicking them in though to keep us going straight here at 3,500. So that's how we do it in the real world. So right when I'm a beam of the numbers, 1,700 on the RPMs, and then 10 degrees of flaps under 110 knots. So here we go, 1,700 RPMs. We're under 110, so we get 10 degrees of flaps, and we angle down slightly. You see my flaps going down. Visually checking doesn't hurt either. We should be about 80 knots by the end of this, and if not, we just nose it up just a little bit to get there. But those winds are definitely coming off the hills down there, which is nice to see. It's more realistic. This is definitely more realistic than what it was when the simulator first came out. And we are descending. Should be about 500 feet per minute, which is why I'm not at the 80. These are the things that you check for when you land. I'm taking an extended downwind here, but we can turn base. Clear on the left. We're at 80 knots now. And it kind of tells you if you have to dip the nose or not to stay at 80 knots. And also don't be afraid to put a little couple more RPMs in there. But 75 is not terrible either. You don't want it to go like 60. That's bad. You're supposed to land at 60. So, and again, I'm looking over here in the simulator. I use this more than because you can't see as well out of the peripheral, if you will, in the simulator. But all right, we're on base. We're going to go to 1,500 right away. 10 more degrees of flaps. And we are far out now because that peripheral sucks. But seeing that we extended the downwind, we're going to be good to go still. We want the airspeed to be about 70, so I'm going to kick in the engine a little bit. And that's what I'm talking about. In real life, you have a better peripheral vision, so you can actually set this up better. This is terrible right now. But by extending the downwind, you have more time to get back on track and actually land. So this is all good. We're under 3,000 feet, so full rich on the mixture. And here we go. We're going to make this happen. All right, I still have 10 more degrees of flaps, which I'll probably add right about now. Here we go. And that should bring us down to about 65, 60. We're going to trim down a little bit to keep the nose going down towards the runway. Here we go. I also didn't call anything because no one's in the traffic pattern right now. So Dawson traffic says United Echo Foxtrot, final runway 30 Dawson. Here we go. We're looking good. We're a little bit off though. Winds are from my right. Yeah, we'll still stick to landing. It's just a matter of getting down there. So again, setup is everything. If you get set up early, you're good. We'll start our flare pretty soon. That setup counted a lot to get this perfect. There we go. Oh, hey, come on now. I got my rudder. I got my rudder over there. Why aren't you going to the right? I have my rudder. Ah! Again, little quirks of the simulator. I had right rudder to keep that in the middle, and it did nothing. It went towards the left, which is not realistic at all. Aerodynamic braking. And taking this taxiway on the left so I get out of the way from Marty. It's things like that that kill me in the simulator. I just flew for 2 hours just to have it kind of do that and look like crap. But you do what you can. Dawson, traffic says Nautical Foxtrot clear of runway 30, Dawson. Okay, and this is basically the FBO's on our left here. So we're going to go towards the left. Flaps up. Strobes off. And trim set for takeoff, which it's a little low. There you go. Set for takeoff. That is the post-landing checklist, so we're good there. Clearing our right. We're going to the left, where the FBO is in that building. These taxi lights drive me insane every single time. Very, very non-used airport as of now. And do they have a marshal here or not? I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think they do, so I'm just going to pull in over here on the apron. Again, setup is everything. If I could have gotten that setup better with the peripheral vision, we would have had a better landing there. You do what you can, so. Alright, with that, we are down, though, and we will take a look at the airport in a second. So let me get my checklist out to secure the aircraft. ELT, verify silent, avionics off, all lights off except for beacon. There we go. Mixture, we're going to go full lean. Mags off, master off, lights off. And with that, we are good. Let's send the drone out. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Glendive, Montana, everybody.
I want to do barrel rolls and loop-the-loops.
Oh, thank you, Tim Gold, for subscribing on
dangerous and
YouTube. Just wanted to check, because I have YouTube, and
who does?
that Marty's coming up right there. So Marty got here in one piece as well, which is good, because I think that little landing right there, that was terrible at the end there. And I had the rudder in. I had the brakes and rudder to go right, because I started starting to go to the left, but just didn't help me out there. But here's the drone, everybody. And like I said, Glendive is just a airport. I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, because it does have a nice city, which we will look at in a second. But it's Montana. It's lots of open land. So let's see if I can find Glendive. And it's actually right over there. So this is Glendive, Montana. And the Yellowstone River, which goes all the way to Yellowstone, is there. But it took us about a 2-hour flight here. My stopwatch actually says 2 hours and 29 minutes, because I always forget to stop it. So that's how long it took to get here from our departure. But Glendive, the Yellowstone River, which doesn't look very big. I don't live in Montana, but that does go all the way down to the Yellowstone. Or actually, you know what? Doesn't it kind of look like this is the Yellowstone River and they kind of just messed up on the mapping a little bit? I think so. It is kind of big. Yeah. So they messed up on the water mask or something. So big. So anyone from Glendive, let us know. Let us know if this is what it looks like in real life. But it looks pretty good. Pretty good from what I'm seeing. See a rail station there or something. And this will complete this leg of my virtually around the USA flights, where I practice my cross-country skills and get to see the whole country. So, alright, let's fly back to me. Get another view of Marty here. And it's going to have to load the airport because I went that far. But, Marty might have taken off, actually. That's cool. He did some formation flying as we were going. Oh, wait, I heard something. Oh, there you are. No, you're right near me. It just had to load. Sorry. But cool. Well, Marty, I appreciate you coming out with me on these flights. Obviously, you'll be around for more. Marty, again, is from SimulatedAviation.com, which I am an affiliate of. Nothing monetary. We're just trying to promote virtual aviation and get it more centralized so that all facets of virtual aviation can be represented, including my passion now, which is general aviation, in simulation, seeing that real world private pilot. I stopped doing airliners a long time ago. So if you're into that though, they're still trying to promote everything. Marty himself does formation flying in a T6 Texan with online. So we do a large number of things here, and do visit simulatadaviation.com. While you're at it, also feel free, please, to follow me on Twitch on Eric Flight, and also go on to Eric Flight on YouTube. Push subscribe, push the like buttons on the video that you see, because I'm sure that you're going to enjoy them. I have some real-world flights on there, as well as an archive of all these simulated flights I do. And I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you very much, Marty, for being there, and Tim. And appreciate it. I'm going to see if I'll come back on tonight. I got some things to do. Might not come back on tonight, but if I do, I'll try to announce that in the Simulated Aviation Discord server and other places. If you saw me on flightsim.com and aviasim.com, I try to post there as well. So without further ado, thank you for joining us, and have a great day. Just make it great. So we'll see you.